News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. Coming up, Pandai MP Matthew Nyindam has given a troubling account of betrayal, alleging that some senior members of parliament on the majority side, whom he considered friends, vowed to push him out of parliament, compounding his difficulties during the long legal battle over the Pandai seat.
People that I thought were all together, I've seen that it's not the same. A colleague approached me and told me that, look, we will get you out of this parliament.
Even before the case was
Even before this case started. I'm just telling you, this is what a colleague tells you.
So this
on their front bench.
Details as he calls for calm in the constituency after the Supreme Court 4-1 victory. So what will it take for him to be readmitted into the House?
You cannot just walk in. At this point, walking in there will be just a matter of celebration and not an official admission by the House of his official presence.
We'll also touch base with our correspondents in the home regions of the NPP flag-bearer aspirants as they prepare for battle in 2 days. Also coming up, Northern Command of the Ghana Armed Forces warns soldiers against abusing or bullying civilians even when civilians' behavior is provocative.
We are not to molest them. We are not to bully them. Sometimes they can be annoying, but as a professional soldier, restrain yourself.
And they also have a warning for civilians.
We have no authority to question our duties. In case you still need to know what we are doing, go to the commander, identify yourself properly, and you'll be briefed as to the operation. You don't take the laws into your own hands.
In sports,
Ghana's Black Maidens are set to resume World Cup chase after age cheating ban.
And still ahead, onion sellers at Ajen Kotoku and commuters decry deplorable road network on Midday Kotoku stretch.
We've really struggled going back and forth. We really expected them to construct a drainage system for us.
More in our feature series, Roads of Peril, as they call for swift government intervention. These and more with me, Pearl Ofori. This is Joy News, independent, fearless and credible. This afternoon, Member of Parliament for Pandai, Matthew Nyindam, has spoken of betrayal and intimidation by some senior colleagues on the majority side of the House during the long legal battle over his seat. Although the Supreme Court has settled the controversy with a 4-1 decision, ruling that the High Court case which annulled his election was filed outside the mandatory 21-day period. The MP says his ordeal extended beyond the courtroom. Mr. Nyindam says he faced threats and betrayal from Parliament, alleging that some senior members vowed to use every means to push him out of the House, an experience he says will reshape his relationship with colleagues.
A lot will change.
Tell me.
I'll be more calm than before. People that I used to talk to, people that I thought were all together, I've seen that it's not the same.
Explain. I thought you said everybody supported you. Not everybody.
Not the minority side.
Oh, you mean the NDC side? Okay.
It's not going to be the same.
Expand on that for me. What did they do? What happened there?
I don't know. You see, we are colleagues. We are all members of Parliament, and we all know how we struggled to win a seat in Ghana's Parliament. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And for you to deliberately decide that, look, I must get my colleague out of Parliament for no reason, I find it difficult. Because I don't know why you want me out of Parliament. I have not offended you. You don't come from the area. You don't know the geographical area of the place. You don't know what I do for the people. And for some reason, you have taken it as a project that you don't want to see me in Parliament. Let me tell you, when we started this 9th Parliament, a colleague approached me and told me that, look, we will get you out of this Parliament.
Even before the case was
Even before this case started. And I told him that, my brother, did you see me here during the 8th Parliament? When I lost, did you see me here? I have no business here when I lost the 8th Parliament. I am here because the people asked me to come. But since you say you are going to get me out of here, you are not my God. Let my God speak for me. That's what a colleague tells you.
Is this an ordinary colleague or somebody in leadership?
I'm just telling you, this is what a colleague tells you.
So this,
on their front bench.
I see.
And you heard that Matthew Nyindam speaking to Evans Mens on PM Express yesterday. Well, he also called for calm in the constituency as he believes he will win the NDC's intended review application.
I think that if the lawyers will be honest to him, they will know that they will not go for any review. If they will be honest and sincere with him, they will tell him that, please, prepare for 2028. And if you are the choice of the people, they will give you the opportunity. They won't go to waste their time at the Supreme Court because it is clear. The 4-1 I saw today clearly tells me that the law is the law. And the Supreme Court judges have held the integrity of this country to the very highest esteem. Yes, I am from the opposition. Yes, I don't have powers behind me. They look into my face, they look into the case and realize that, look, this young man has a case. Okay, they never decided to give it to the ruling government. That is integrity. That is sincerity. Tells me that any man walking on the streets can also get justice. So if they decide to go for a review, I still believe that the justice I got today, I'll get the same justice. I believe in that. Just when I stepped out of the Supreme Court, I made some calls to some leadership in Pandai to make sure that they keep the youth in check.
Okay.
I pray that our call to the constituency, the youth will respect it. And their call to the other side will also respect it. And this will pass very soon. It shouldn't take us more than 4 days.
Now, reacting to the outcome of the case, constitutional lawyer Justice Abdullahi says Matthew Nyindam cannot go to Parliament yet when the House reconvenes on Tuesday. This is his reason.
My honourable friend would have to employ the tools available by informing the Clerk of Parliament of this. And the information would be through the orders or the judgments that the Supreme Court delivered. It would be prudent that he obtains copies and inform the Clerk of Parliament and indeed the Electoral Commission. Even though that is not his job, the Electoral Commission part is not his job. But it would be helpful if he takes steps to notify them, even though they may not necessarily rely on that, but that would be a good notice for them, just in case they have anything up their sleeves, to hold on until official communication from Parliament reaches them.
So he cannot just walk into the House? You
cannot just walk in. At this point, walking in there will be just a matter of celebration and not an official admission by the House of his official presence.
We stay on politics, and the clock is ticking for the much-anticipated NPP primaries. Now, with less than 48 hours of the party's big day, the camps of the various candidates say they are confident of victory. But political analysts say per available polls, Kennedy Ejapon and Dr. Belmia are the clear front-runners. But how is the support like in their home regions, and how are preparations going? Let's touch base with our correspondents. We begin from the Ashanti region, the home region of Dr. Yao Osei Educhum. Now, he is expected to cast his ballot in Busumche. My colleague in that region is Nanaya Wajima. He joins me right now with more. Nanaya, how are delegates in the region gearing up for the primaries on Saturday?
So on Saturday, the Ashanti region is expecting about 36,000 delegates of the NPP to show up in various polling stations in various constituencies to cast their ballots for their preferred candidates. All of the aspirants so far have been to their Ashanti region campaigning and telling delegates about what they'll be able to do for the party when it comes to the next general elections. Now, the delegates are anticipating that on Saturday there will be a smooth ride, and all of them are keeping to their chest the people they hope to vote for. As you read earlier, we still have strong footing in the Ashanti region. So the former flag bearer, who happens to be Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, also Kennedy Ejapon is strongly in the Ashanti region a lot of people are expecting him to amass a number of votes from the Ashanti region. So far, the Ashanti region is very calm. Delegates are anticipating that on Saturday there will be a calm election here in the Ashanti region.
And how visible has Dr. Educhim been in the region in the final stretch of the campaign?
Educhim has been very visible in the Ashanti region. He has his campaign based in the Ashanti region, with people from his camp visiting almost all the constituencies in the region. Dr. Osei Educhim himself has been in the region, and he's also going around with his team. And today, he brought his campaign to an end with a press conference where he promised people of the region that if he is able to be made or he succeeds in this election, he will ensure that all of the people in the country get jobs, and also the jobs that they get pays well by improving on the economy. So he is anticipating that on Saturday, Ashanti will show him love and vote him massively in this election.
I will assure you that we'll have a unified party going into the 2028 election. To my brothers and sisters, working people of Ghana, I believe that our nation must ensure that workers have livable wages. Livable wages are wages that take care of you and your family. You're able to take care of your family, pay fees and other things, and be able down the line to own a car, own a home. That is what happens in most countries that are emerging out of poverty. So livable wages is something that we need to work on as a nation. And I'm going to champion it, and I'm going to do it because it's the right thing to do.
And from the Ashanti region, we go to the Central region and speak to Abigail Isel, my colleague there. Thank you for your time here on the Midday News, Abigail. So Kennedy Japan has served as Asin Central MP for years. How is that helping his last-minute campaign there?
Right, so in the Asin areas, he's seen as a humanitarian, disciplinarian, and also a man of justice, a person with high regard for the law. And these people are saying these qualities are what a good leader should possess. And some delegates also believe that with his business background, job creation, especially for the youth, will be at the center of Kennedy Japan's leadership. So it may seem that there is a possibly home advantage going in his favor, and we'll find that out on Saturday, hopefully at the end of the election.
And before you go, paint a picture for us. What is the mood on the ground right now ahead of Saturday's primaries?
So anticipation is quite high, expectedly, and everything is particularly very calm. We know that materials for the elections have been received at the regional level. We are waiting for them to be distributed to the various constituencies for the election on Saturday. But anticipation is very high. Everywhere is calm, and the expectation is that security will also be very tight and the elections will happen smoothly.
Abigail, thank you so much. Let's go to the Eastern region now, and we are joined by my colleague Maxwell Kudeko. Maxwell, so does Dr. Brani Chamban have the support of delegates from his own region?
Well, there cannot be a direct answer to this, but one can say that he has quite a substantial support from the Eastern region, especially from the Kou bloc, and then there's some few constituencies. But Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia also has his own traditional support, especially those who supported him keenly during the 2023 primaries. They are family with him. Quite a number of the members of parliament in the region are also working very hard to see him win majority of the vote in the Eastern region.
Thank you so much, Maxwell Kudeko, for that update. Let's stay on politics, but this time to the camp of the NDC in the Ayawaso East primaries, where all 5 aspirants, including the late MP's wife and Ghana's ambassador to Nigeria, have all been approved to contest in the party's primaries. Rashid Tanko Computer is Deputy National Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. He spoke to MFR Deti on the AM show.
5.
Yes. Okay. All 5 went through?
Yes.
Okay, there have been concerns raised about our ambassador to Nigeria contesting.
Well, yes.
Did he go through the vetting?
He went through the vetting. Our guidelines, the guidelines we are using currently, doesn't debar him from contesting. I mean, a decision as to whether he stays or not doesn't rest with the party. the party cannot take such decision to stop an appointee of government from contesting. So based on that, he's qualified. It's left with the government to decide as to what to do with him. For the party, we have no issues with that. Yesterday, it went on beautifully. 5 of them, all of them appeared before the panel. I mean, after assessing them, we realized that the 5 of them were all qualified. And they balloted. Now we are out with the notice of pool. It's out in the constituency.
Let's take you to the court now, and the criminal trial involving former Finance Minister Ken Ofori and 6 other persons has been adjourned to February 26 for case management conference. It follows the prosecution's request for more time to conclude international processes to serve order of summons on Ken Ofori and another accused person, Ernest Akori, whom the OSP have declared as fugitives of justice. Member of a legal affairs desk, Kweku Asante, was in court and joins me with details. So, Kweku, today's hearing was expected to be the case management conference. Why has the case delayed for another month?
Well, Pearl, it was at this hearing that the court would have provided guidelines and directives on how this trial was expected to pan out. That is what you just described as a case management conference. However, 2 main things that the prosecution ought to have done have not been done, for which reason the case management conference is no longer coming off. One, that is the serving of some summons on Ken Ofori and Mr. Akori. As we know, these 2 persons have all now been declared fugitives from justice because they are currently not in the country, and the OSP is unable to get them back into the country willingly. And so the summons would have to be served to them through the Attorney General's Department, and that has not been done. The OSP also has to file some disclosures, and he has done some. He has not served all the disclosures. So at today's hearing, the OSP pleaded for more time to do these 2 processes to ensure that the next month, when the court resumes this particular case, the case management conference will happen. And so proceedings have now been adjourned to 25th of February.
Very well, but Kweku, still in court, the former Deputy Director General of the National Service Authority seeking to pause a criminal trial. Why?
Yufsi Owari Abaje and the lawyers have filed an application. They say that some part of practice directions that have come from the Chief Justice on criminal trials are unconstitutional, for which reason they are asking the trial judge in this matter to put the entire trial on hold and refer the matter to the Supreme Court for determination as to whether or not the impugned aspects of the practice direction are truly constitutional or unconstitutional. The court will make a determination as to whether or not the proceeding will be paused and the matter referred to the Supreme Court in early February. But for now, the case has been adjourned for the first week of February for the judge to make this determination.
Kweku Asante is with our legal affairs desk, and thank you so much for bringing us up to speed with what's happening in the court. Now, away from court, soldiers of the Ghana Armed Forces have been cautioned against abusing or bullying civilians, even when provoked. The warning was issued by the General Officer commanding the Northern Command, Brigadier General Franklin Wolanyo Agbegbo, who urged personnel to remain professional and disciplined at all times. He also reminded the public that military operations are conducted on a strict need-to-know basis and encouragement through official public relations channels to avoid misunderstanding. He spoke at a ceremony in Wa.
Brigadier General Franklin Wolanyo commended the government for the recent donation of vehicles and armored personnel carriers aimed at retooling the Ghana Armed Forces to enhance mobility and operational efficiency. He however admonished them to justify the investment doled out to them.
Recently, we have received some vehicles and other equipment from the Ghana government. We have some pickups, buses, and APCs. He has also promised to complete the rest of the FOBs so that we can have a better and conducive working atmosphere. Northern Command definitely will have issues in all this equipment that have been provided. What we have to do is to work harder and justify the investment of the government in us.
Whilst cautioning soldiers to be professional in the discharge of their duties, he urged members of the public not to take the law into their own hands.
We are not to molest them. We are not to bully them. Sometimes they can be annoying, but as a professional soldier, restrain yourself. In case you are in doubt, consult your commander. Anybody who approaches you on your duty point, asking questions, refer that person to your commander. To the general public, military operations are strictly on need-to-know basis. If you have to know, our Department of Public Relations will announce our presence. If you don't need to know, you have no authority to question our duties. In case you still need to know what we are doing, you have the right to go to the commander, identify yourself properly, and you'll be briefed as to the operation. You don't take the laws into your own hand.
Reporting for J News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Well, the comment you just heard follows a recent incident of alleged military brutalities against civilians in parts of the country. This raises critical questions about how the public should relate with the military to prevent such occurrences. Before we speak to a security analyst on the matter, my colleague Fred Smith has joined me in the studio with details of some recent incidents and progress of investigations. So, Fred, you've been following recent incidents involving alleged military abuse of civilians and journalists. What are the key cases we should know about?
Well, Pearl, several incidents have drawn public attention in recent years. In 2023, residents of Ashaman reported abuse during a military operation. In July 2025, Joy News journalist Carlos Kaloni was assaulted and detained while covering a demolition in Accra. In April 2025, a civilian was shot dead at Yinahin in the Ashanti region, reportedly over wearing a camouflage. Most recently, on January 26, 2026, a TV3 reporter, Solomon Kwame, was allegedly assaulted by soldiers in the Northeast region while on assignment.
And Fred, what has been the progress of investigations into these incidents?
Progress has been very limited. Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee completed investigations into the Ashaman case and recommended compensation and sanctions, but these have not been fully implemented. The military announced an internal probe into the assault on Joy News' Carlos Kaloni, but no findings have been made public. Police investigations into the Yinahin killing have also not produced publicly known outcomes, and in the most recent TV3 case, the military has promised an investigation with media groups demanding accountability.
Join News editor Fred Smith, thank you so much. Now join me now for further analysis on this issue with security analyst Emmanuel Kutin. Mr. Kutin, thank you for your time on the Midday News. So what do you make of the seeming rise in military-civilian confrontations and also alleged brutalities over the past few years?
Well, thank you for having me. Very good afternoon to your listeners. In fact, the bottom line is assault is a criminal offense, and the military have no mandate to investigate crimes under our laws. So to the effect of the law, I think the military cannot investigate itself. The second thing is that the military high command has failed to orient personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces that enforcement of law is not a rogue activity, and law enforcement itself must follow the law. So I think to a larger extent, we have seen one too many rogue behavior of our military. That is fast bringing the image of our military into disrepute.
And from where you stand, what do you think are the practical steps that should be taken by both the military and civilians to strengthen relations and also prevent such incidents from happening?
I think the National Media Commission has to liaise with our security agencies across board. Then we can orient both the personnel and our media personnel as well. If you look at other jurisdictions, there are specialties in reporting on matters of this nature. But if you look at Ghana, we have the jack-fit-all scenario, where you have one journalist covering the whole region. And this brings the gap, like the military commander indicated in the report that they need to know basis must follow certain procedure. And if you look at the instant case we are talking about in the Northeast region, you know, it's a conflict zone. And in that part of the world, we are not normally living normal times. So certain things will have to be done in a particular way, especially if it has to be intelligence-led. That is why I'm calling for orientation of both the personnel and the media as well.
Emmanuel Kutin, thank you so much for speaking to us, and he is a security analyst. You're listening to the Midday News. We'll be back with sports and more stories. You're welcome back to the Midday News. It's time for sport, and Mubarak is here.
Yeah, Pearl, Ghana's Black Maidens are preparing for a return to the Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifiers after missing the last two editions. Now, the team previously served a ban on age cheating during the match against Morocco in 2022. The current squad is largely made up of players from the Under-15 side that won the CAF African Schools Championship. It's a good time to hear from the head coach, Nanajo Adakwa.
Some of them don't know anything concerning U17 in terms of qualification. So we sat them down, we briefed them everything, and now they knew what is at stake. Because anytime U17 wants to play a qualifier, they qualify anytime. So this is our time. We have to follow that trend. So they will be up for the task. Every country is good. We are not going to take chances. We are going to beat everything that we meet them in their line. We are going to beat everything.
Now, Ghana will face Togo in April in the first round of qualifiers.
Thank you so much, Mubarak. Now, commuters on the Midday to Kotoku Road in the Ganwesi municipality are familiar with the challenges associated with plying that stretch. At the heart of it is the Ajane Kotoku market, the onion trading hub in Greater Accra. The traders lament that customers are hesitant to visit and the poor road is pushing up the cost of doing business. In today's feature series, Roads of Peril, I visited the area and felt this report.
From Ajane Kotoku, looking Accra, Medina and the rest, is very short distance. But due to the bad nature of the road, we are suffering.
At the Ajane Kotoku Onion Market in the Ganwesi municipality, Osman Mohammed Sidi plies his trade. He sells onions transported from northern Ghana and neighboring countries. He and hundreds of other traders were relocated here from the Agbeglochi market as part of a decongestion exercise. But years on, access to the market remains a major challenge.
Road linking from 3 Junction to Ajane Kotoku, Midday to Ajane Kotoku. We've been complaining several times that the road, there are a lot of onions here, but the customers are not coming.
Drivers and commuters who use the road say its poor condition has made travel increasingly difficult.
It delays our movement. Then also, before you get back to wherever you're going, you get tired. You have waste problems. Oh, at least they should fix it for us. You can imagine coming, the stress that you pass through.
Now let's bring you other stories. And climate change is taking a heavy toll on Ghana's savannah region, with rising temperatures and erratic rainfall degrading farmlands and drying up water sources. As the Sahara gradually advances southward, pressure on land and water has intensified, heightening competition between local farmers and migrant herdsmen. What was once largely peaceful coexistence is increasingly giving way to tension as communities struggle to survive on shrinking natural resources. Here is today's episode of Climate Evidence.
Once green farmlands now crack under the sun's heat, while rivers and streams dry up long before the next rainy season arrives. Here, the changing climate is forcing people into desperate choices and turning neighbors into rivals. When large herds of cattle arrive, trampling crops in search of pasture and water, the result is anger and catastrophic loss. The General Secretary of FUBE in Ghana, Yakubu Musabari, argues that the herders are victims of circumstance.
This climate change issue that drives them away from wherever they are coming from, entering a land that they are not familiar with. Definitely without adequate policy or either instructions or guide. That is how you see sometimes these animals go astray to enter farms.
When I farm, I have 14 bags of maize. The next year, I have 10 bags. So this year, I decided to say that maybe the way I have to add some of the acre. Unfortunately, when I farmed this year, these animals came chip inside and destroyed some of the maize.
On the other hand, Musa Jallo, a migrant herdsman from Mali, speaks on his desperate journey. For Jallo, the open land is meant for all.
Now, Joy FM's big workout is on in just 2 days with a strong aerobics focus to promote healthy living. The free event begins at 6 a.m. at the Legon Sports Stadium on Saturday, featuring a brisk walk through part of East Legon followed by the aerobics. Now, organizers say the aim is to encourage regular exercise as lifestyle-related disease rise. Roads Minister Governs Kwame Abuja is one of the key personalities urging Ghanaians to take advantage to improve their health.
I want to congratulate the Joy FM for this workout thing. All of us should be finding space to do some physical exercise to avoid some of the lifestyle diseases we get. So I think it's a very good thing, and I wish all of us would take a cue from that and get some time to do some physical exercise.
And here the Roads Minister Governs Kwame Abuja. And that's how we end the Midday News. My name is Pearl Ofori.